Oh good, I see on my computer screen here, Mosey Pro just did my off-site backup. I think that off-site backup is really important. On-site backup is really important too for your computer, but I'm expecting the whole internet to totally collapse this year. Now remember, I'm the one who annoyed people I knew, because back in January of 2008, when I was very sick, basically in a hospice to die of liver cancer, my spouse brought me a lot of financial news to read, and I was in the hospice for 12 weeks, and you know, I was just like, oh my God, economic collapse, you know, and nobody wanted to hear me. I mean, they were just like, what are you talking about? Everything's fine, you know. I was like, hello? Doesn't look like it's shaping up to be fine. What can you do? It's kind of a benefit that I usually can't sleep, actually. This forces me to work. I sat at my kitchen table and stared at a yellow pad and made 2 lists like this. Old wine. 1. Missing 2 weeks. 2. Husband upset, but because she's missing. 3. Many long-distance calls to places where not licensed to do business. 4. New Brunswick money launderer. 5. Slave. 6. Lots of referrals. Spend time with Beatrice if she'll let me to check out clients. 7. Don't rush this job. Cash cow. Celebrity. 1. Undocumented workers, illegal aliens. This has to do with this really convoluted plot. Don't worry if it doesn't make any sense. This was going to be a very, very long book, okay? 2. Heavy boxes. Shoe-why willing to pay a lot to keep them from disappearing. 3. Deliveries at night. Follow truck at next available opportunity. 4. Shoe-why there at night. Why? 5. Don't rush this job. Cash cow. After sitting for an hour and contemplating my brilliant analyses, I turned on the TV again and watched Flying Down to Rio on Channel 13. This is one of my favorite movies. This was the first time they paired Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers to dance together. I like when they tie the females to the airplanes. Monday morning, I was back working at Celebrity. Another shipment of those mysterious boxes came, and we unloaded them as usual and stacked them in the warehouse. Hour after hour, I wrestled in my mind with the obvious fact that there was really no way to find out who was perpetrating the heinous crime of pinching those suckers. By lunch break, I decided I was going to have to throw in the towel that day or the next, so I might as well just open up one of the boxes and find out what was inside. What could Shoe-why do to me anyway? Injury I could do without, but death would be welcome. Everyone seemed to be on break. There was no one around. It was easy. I looked at the boxes. They were sealed with ordinary heavy packing tape. I went up the street half a block to the bargain land, bought a roll of the same type of tape, went back into the warehouse, and slit open one of the boxes with my knife. The box was packed tightly with paper documents in ordinary standard-sized manila folders. I pulled one out. Diaz, Domingo, it was marked. I quickly examined the folder's contents. Some phone, gas, and electric bills with an address in Arverne, New York. Copies of what looked like ordinary personal correspondence written by hand in what looked like Spanish. A voter registration card. Nothing else. I pulled out another file marked Vera Jorge. Similar contents, and also some statements from a charge account with Sears, and copies of 4 monthly payments by money order. A voter registration card. Also an Arvern address. I heard voices from up front and replaced the files and resealed the box. I exchanged its position in the stack so it was no longer on top and returned to the front area of the warehouse. I was very hungry but had used up my lunch break time. Just as I got to the alley, my coworkers were rising, tossing their lunch trash away, and shuffling back to work. A new truck was waiting, and we quietly got to work, loading finished racks of applique knitwear. My liver was killing me, and damn it, I still wanted that drink. Apparently, no one had seen me. So basically, Hollywood did call me about this writing project, Lee Wachner from Hollywood, and he wanted to know how the story came out because this was published serially in a magazine, many chapters of it. And people got very interested in this story, rotten to the core, which I'll gladly finish writing if somebody gives me a contract in advance and everything. I worked in New York for about 17 years, and for a while I was in the insurance industry, and I noticed a lot of funny stuff going on. And if you know anything about dead peasant policies or anything like that, that'll give you some idea. And you know, when you think of something, you have to realize if you can think of it, you're probably not the first person who's thought of it. And as I was working as an honest insurance agent and registered representative, doing estate planning and stuff like that, I started to notice that a lot of funny stuff was going on, but that there were a lot of funny possibilities. It's more like what I imagined than what I actually saw. And I wanted to write something about like all this rotten stuff I had seen going on in New York for nearly 2 decades. And I knew that it was going to be risky to write it, and it still will be risky to write it, besides a lot of work, but I like to write. And all I can really say is, when it comes to everyday business, if you have a knitwear company in your neighborhood, the protagonist in this story is a pot-smoking private detective who's not very nice to his woman. When you start to just look at it and observe what's going on, you can get in a lot of trouble. You know, I worked for a bunch of banks also, and if somebody wants to hire me and pay me, I'll spill the beans. I mean, I saw stuff that, well, I was threatened, and it's happened over here in France too. And I always say, I don't fear death. I don't like torture, but I don't fear death. So, you know, there's really nothing they can do to me. I mean, if they want to take away everything I own, that's already happened. If they want to kill my spouse, he's insured. If they want to mutilate him, well, I like Joel Peter Witkin. I guess I'll take some pictures of him all mutilated. And he might even like that himself. As far as myself, you know, they never really know what to make of me because I just don't fear death. You know, I just really don't. And if I lose everything that I have here in this apartment outside Paris, France today, I'm not sure it's going to be pleasant. You know, I get very upset about things being lost, broken, thrown out, stolen, you know. I don't handle rejection very well and stuff, but I'll either live or I won't live. You know what I'm saying? it doesn't really make that much difference. And for people who say, oh, my family, I worry about my family. Well, I just hope they're a lot nicer and better than any of my families have ever been. And if people say, well, I just want to help my friends, I hope that they are a lot nicer and better than a lot of the friends that I have had and known. There have been a few good ones. And one of the ones was the editor who published these chapters serially. But, you know, these people, they make excuses. They make excuses. Well, I can't leave the Gulf of Mexico because I have family down here, you know. Enough said, okay? You know, I think if you really want to help your family and you perceive that something's wrong where you are, you should get your passport together and get out. Go someplace else and try to make a new life. You can maybe send money back to your family. I know I did that for decades. Way too much money, in fact. You know, the more you do for people, the less they think of you. But get yourself out of there, even if you have to go alone. What more can I say? All right, I hope you like this. If you want to see more, if you want to hear more of any of my writings or from this book or whatever, just let me know. I aim to please. My aim is true. Bye-bye.